What is going on, guys? Name's Z-Free. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. So I am sorry about the fact that I didn't wind up putting this up yesterday. I guess I'm going to put it up kind of early today, so maybe it's still yesterday for you, technically wherever you are. But I haven't been feeling too hot, so, wanted to make sure I got my super review out. It was a shorter video anyway. So if you watched the episode, go ahead and check out the review. It was a fun review to do, by the way. So what we're doing in this one, though, we broke down 3 different team variants for Omega Shenron on both versions of the game. First one we're looking at is Global's physical, then we're going to jump to JP's physical, so on and so forth. It's getting physical. Memes initiated there. Hope you guys enjoy it. Subscribe if you're new. Let's talk about the team. So, for starters, we have Broly as lead. It is 100% viable to swap Goku Black as lead because he does offer 3 ki. That being said, he offers 3 ki to only the extreme types, and there's only, I guess there's half the team's extreme types. There's only 2 super types, the two Super Saiyans. So it's not too bad having Goku and Gotenks on here. This is pretty much the most cohesive team that you can field. Under 70% Broly as a leader. So that being said, whenever more options do become available, this will swap over to being more or less the extreme team, which we'll see in a minute. Other sub options would be any unit that has either prepared for battle and over in a flash, which I don't think there's actually any of them other than Vegito Blue, actually. Why didn't I put Vegito Blue in here? What the heck? Yeah, Vegito Blue in there for, it's a tough one. I like the over in a flash trio. I like this Frieza because he hits really hard, but honestly, the Frieza can go. It doesn't really matter. Frieza or Gotenks, the ceiling is nice to have, but you do have a lot of debuffing with Omega and Goku Black there. Broly does have the reduced defense. He'd be the leader in this scenario. I guess you could go ahead and drop Broly, run Goku Black as lead. The over and flash link is strong enough to sustain across the board well enough, so it wouldn't be too big of an issue. The problem with that is I like Broly a lot. He's very underweighted, gets a lot of hate because we hated on him so much, but he's very, very good, especially when you get duplicates. But for the sake of the video, you can drop Broly. Other sub options, like I said, prepare for battle Saiyans, like this Trunks, like this Gohan, especially when he awakens. This Gohan's not actually available yet. This is the Stunner Goku right here. Kaioken Goku could actually be really, really good on this team next to Goku Black. So there are a lot of viable replacement options. If you needed more of a support unit, Kid Buu is an option as well. But just once again, if you're looking through your box, trying to build something, look at Prepare for Battle and Super Saiyan as your primary links on the units. And aside from that, Fierce Battle and maybe Over in a Flash or Prepare for Battle, there are a lot of units that have those types of things. I cannot touch on every individual unit possible. Another really good sub option would be Sin Shenron. The reason why Sin isn't in here is because he's flat out not as good as some of the other units on the team. But once again, if you were to run Goku Black as lead, you could probably drop probably just Kaioken Goku, to be honest. You could drop Kaioken Goku and Broly, throw in Sin Shenron, and you have a team with Goku Black as lead, Sin and Omega, and then these 3 on the bottom. Gotenks is kind of weird. He's only here because he can seal, to be honest. He's kind of weird on this team. Honestly, Kaioken Goku is probably a better unit link-wise. Well, he is a better unit link-wise, which does lead to the cohesion of the team working a little bit better because keep in mind, your team doesn't have any ki if you have Goku Black as a leader. He is a support unit, yes, but he's only helping out your villain characters. So your hero characters are kind of just left there to figure out how to get ki on their own, unless you bring ki support items. So keep that in mind. I would probably drop Gotenks and then keep him, but it doesn't really matter what you do at that point if you're running this variant. So that's that one for Global's physical team. Once again, a bunch of options are available to you. Here's JP's, and JP is a little bit different. They don't have the exact same luxury because outright their best 6 would be these 2 on the top, the Cooler and Frieza, the Sin and Omega, this Super Buu, which is a 40% attack and defense and 3 ki support unit. So he's not available on Global yet. He should be coming around the time that Cooler drops, though. So Cooler should be coming. Cooler would be here right now if it wasn't for Gogeta and Omega. So he should be coming probably the next Dokkan Festival after that. Now, to my point, this guy is nowhere near as good on JP because he does not offer that 3 ki. If he did, this would be undisputably his spot. Like, he would have it. There's no contest. So that being said, he's still very good either way. But that being said, we have more options that are available. So once again, Broly Phenomenal unit. Really, really good unit. Like, especially if you can get 3 super attacks, they all could be critical hits depending on your potential system and stuff like that. He is great. So, he's definitely an option for this. Kid Buu, 50% attack and defense is a lot. It's just Kid Buu, like every other Kid Buu, which we'll talk about later on, just lacks key links. But even if he doesn't super, him giving a full power Frieza and cooler rotation or a Sin and Omega rotation, 50% more attack and defense is absurd. That's actually a lot of attack and defense. They're going to hit really hard and take no damage, especially with Omega's ability to get a double attack in there, which could be a super attack, and lower the enemy's attack by, I believe, 20%. So Omega is going to love that. So honestly, I'm going to give it to Kid Buu. LR Ginyu is a really good option if you have him because he offers that key, which can get a little bit funny. Shouldn't be too bad because, of course, they're working with their best buddies, so it's not too bad. But definitely giving it to Kid Buu at this point. On Global, it's not going to be the same probably. You're going to have this same exact team. It'll probably just go to Goku Black, which this isn't even the right Goku Black. It's pre-Dokkan, but you get what I'm saying. So on Global, it would definitely go to Goku Black because he does offer that 3 key, can hit really hard. Same thing with viable replacement options. We're looking at a lot of hero units here, but any other extreme physical unit can slide in for one of those units. For example, Mira, if he gets an awakening, he'd be super good. He's already solid, to be honest. You can go for more of a orb type of deal. If you don't have this Super Buu, you can run the Android 17 physical, who's actually not listed here, and Goku Black on the team as well in that last slot. You can kind of do something like that. The reason why running support units like Super Buu and Kid Buu is so good is that as the third unit on the team, which by the way, this Super Buu heals too, so that's also another plus. But as the last unit on the team, their passives allow your overall rotation to output more damage than your team would if you ran a traditional hard hitter in that last slot. You're doing more damage overall in that turn. So that's why we run support units on the teams now. It's not super prevalent. It doesn't really matter so much under the 70% leaders or the 50% leaders, but under the 120s and the 150 leaders, you know that, because that's a thing now. It does matter more and more and more, especially Kid Buu's, because his is like the biggest possible buff that we have in the game to allies. And the next best thing is this guy here. So that is the physical variant. Next one we're looking at is villains. Now, villains is actually subject to change. This is Global's villain variant. You can sub in several different units. I'm going to give you guys some sub options. Once again, Sin Shenron, because Omega is on the team, is a viable option. Only reason he isn't here is because of I didn't want to incorporate 3 physical units. I don't care. I'm not one of those people that's super like a stickler about making sure I have 1 unit of every color because I just find that to be incredibly overrated. But I didn't want to have him on the team because I didn't feel like he was better than any of the other sub options. So LR Broly, he's here because he's LR Broly. He's fantastic. I feel like he's optimal on this team. LR Majin Vegeta is kind of, he would be, actually, because this Goku Black is so good. That's such a game changer. This Goku Black is so good. So you would actually run Majin Vegeta on this team. I don't know who you'd put him on for. Probably Janemba. You could drop Merge Zamasu, but I feel like Merge Zamasu is better than Janemba. You don't need him when Omega is mitigating attack by his passive, and then Goku Black is out there debuffing. You know, people overstate Broly's defensive issues, which it is an issue, right? It's not that it's not a problem, but that's what your items are for. Unless you're specifically trying to know item stuff, which is totally up to your playstyle, that's what you have items for. So other sub options you can put into the team, of course, physical Broly. I'm going to keep bringing him up because he's great. Buhan and Tech Golden Frieza can go in. I would have actually put Tech Golden Frieza on the team instead of Janemba if he had big bad bosses. Although it's not the biggest deal. Tech Golden Frieza is another unit that got a lot of hate for a long time, so it's kind of like taboo to talk about him or use him because the community just thinks he's really bad, but he's not. He has a farmable super, hits for about 400k on this team, has a nice amount of mitigation. Very, very good unit. Can definitely take Janemba's slot if you so choose to do so. Perfect Cell is good. Buhan falls off on this team because there's no room for him. That's why Buhan is not a part of this. But if you need the healing, you can incorporate him. but there's not really much point, once again, because you're going to be outputting so much damage. Buhan is a hindrance. He holds you back. He's going to be the weakest hitter on the team aside from Janemba, unless he takes Janemba's slot, that is, which is a different story. Still a phenomenal unit. He just doesn't age as well due to his passive and the way that it functions. And as you start getting more and more HP, his healing becomes minute. It's not as good of a thing as it was earlier on in the days of the game. So now even his, healing pales in comparison to like the physical Super Buu, who heals a percentage base, which I think Buhan still heals more, but he's super dependent on orbs. And if you're running LRs, you don't want to have that. You don't want to have a unit that's dependent on the orbs. You're already running a leader that doesn't supply Ki and Merge Zamasu because he offers the biggest buff. Speaking of friends, you can run a Merge Zamasu friend, but I'd probably take a Goku Black friend or a Rose friend. Probably a Rose friend preferably. Full power Frieza can sub in. Zamasu can sub in. This guy can sub in. The baby Vegeta can sub in. I mean, Sin Shenron's very good on this team. Once again, the other Omega, if you don't have that main one. Not really much else, really. LR androids are very underwhelming. Even under 120% Super 17's team, they're very, very underwhelming. They hit for 700k, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but when you're talking about a group of units, all these guys that hit for 1 million damage, except for Janemba, he's just there for defensive versatility. It is underwhelming in that regard. So it just comes down to options, right? I'm not trying to make it seem like you have to run these specific teams. That's just me giving options. Other viable options would be Intelligence Turles. He's a great unit. Any other support units like Intelligence Metacooler, who isn't actually available on Global yet, but he will be soon. So a lot of options here for you guys. Let's go ahead and look at the villain variant for JP. So this one is a little bit more open for interpretation because now that I think about it, I should have done the same for the global side, but I didn't incorporate the LRs, in which Broly and Rose, if you can have this Rose on the team, can you have them on the team with? Yeah, you can. Okay. So what is your name anyway? You don't have the same name. Okay, I'll have to look that up. But either way, since you can have them on the team, Broly and Super Saiyan Rose, Goku Black, and Zamasu would be on the team as well. You'd probably incorporate Broly at that point. The issue is finding who you drop, but then again, you'd probably just drop Super 17 and Kid Buu, and maybe Janemba. It depends. Either way, this is basically, in my opinion, the most cohesive team. You have Tank here, Hard Hitter here, Hard Hitter as a leader, hard-hitting Tank here, and then one of them, I don't know who I didn't touch, but hard-hitting unit that also lowers the enemy's attack a lot. So that's probably the most cohesive output. Of course, same thing applies, same sub options apply. Mass Saiyan is available on JP. The other LRs are available here that you can sub in as units that you may or may not have, or whatever, comes down to your playstyle. Hit's actually really good on this team as well because of the fact that he now has shocking speed. Kid Buu is one of the hardest hitting units in the game, but he's easily the most replaceable one due to lack of key links. I would easily want Broly on this team over him, but the issue with Broly is the fact that he's going to be off rotation. I wouldn't run Broly unless you're running something like this, in which you drop boom, boom, and then we have 6 units that do link well enough. And you should have 2 Roses, not the 2 on your team, but yours and a friend, to be able to support these guys adequately. And there you go. So that's another different variant on the team. Excuse me, my voice is kind of going, so we're trying to wrap it up here. So I'm kind of rushing through it a little bit. Forgive me. So the last one. Here is the Shadow Dragons one. This is Global's team. Shadow Dragon Arc is not available as a leader skill yet. It's to be released on Global, so that's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming. So these are the units that are available for that, right? You have this Vegeta, who's the Awakening of the World Tournament Tech one, not available yet on Global. Nova Shenron awakens through Battlefield, which neither of those is available on Global yet, so I didn't really incorporate them. This Sen Shenron turns into Omega Shenron. Actually, this is Omega Shenron right here, and the Sen Shenron's like right here. So yeah, not available. This Goku, same thing, not available. They should have got those. I don't know why JP didn't get those, or Global didn't get those. Those just came to JP on the SS4 and Omega banners. I don't know why Global didn't get them, but either way, this is what was available. A bunch of Shadow Dragons, and that's about it. And you have the R units if you wanted to. I guess Oceanus is like the next best option on this team. Majub is cool. I don't know why he's here, but Goku isn't. But it is what it is. I imagine there'll be a new Goku SS4 that does have that category. Whoopsie. So I imagine that'll be what happens. But this is the team I built basically because this is all that really is available. Once again, if you don't have these units, if you're not running these units, you're literally subbing in either Majub. This is globals. You're either subbing in Majub or Oceania Shenron, or you're outright just subbing in a physical unit because Omega Shenron's separate part of his leader skill is physical 50% up in 3 key. So this is what you really want to go for. No, that does not stack. Omega, since Shenron and Pan on this team do not get 200% and 6 key. They just get their natural Shadow Dragon Arc 150% 3 key. So if you can do that, this is what you would want to do. Aside from that, once again, there's not a whole lot of sub options unless you want to run physical. So one other thing I wanted to talk about now that I look at it, if you watch my Gogeta video, I talked about the team building video for that. I talked about Pandel as an option. A lot of people got confused with that. Gogeta also supports tech units 50%. People were saying, not a whole lot of people understood, but some people were saying Pandel isn't as good as Vegito. Understand one thing, 150% is a lot more than 50%. That's why Pandel makes the team. Vegito gives 25%, I believe, buff upon super attacking. That is not relevant because he has to be on rotation as the first attacker for your other units to utilize it. He also gives a defensive improvement, which isn't useful on that team. I guess it is useful. I don't want to say that, but it's not important on Gogeta's team with the other units that are on that team as well, being able to tank and mitigate damage. So yeah, that's why. And of course, you get a lot more overall HP with Pandel on the team. She's a great unit, but Vegito can definitely sub in for her. I wanted to kind of cover that really quick. So here is JP's Shadow Dragon variant. This is why I said in the video the other day, Global and JP can literally run the exact same team. I personally prefer to run this Goku because I feel like he links up a little bit better. It's kind of the same scenario, actually, as the Pandel and Vegito one, except they both get the category link. So this Goku is Shadow Dragon Arc unit, so he doesn't offer defense. He gives 25% attack and 2 key to physical and tech units. He has Super Saiyan. He also has Kamehameha, which allows him to basically pop most of Gogeta's links. He has 5 of Gogeta's links. Literally Gogeta's best buddy. They share, I believe he shares every single one of Gogeta's links, and he also gives him 25% more attack. So basically the best guy to run on this team. Pan has that mechanic like this. Actually, they both have the mechanic, but Pan's is a little bit higher. The one that says they give the allies a certain amount when they super attack. Once again, Pan is not going to be on rotation, neither is the Goku, so that is not relevant. But Pan does offer a defensive improvement, but it doesn't matter on this team at all because you have Omega, you have Sin who can actually tank hits really well too. You have Vegeta and you have Gogeta countering and high defense and stuff like that. So it doesn't really matter a whole lot in that regard. But that is the team. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, it comes down to what you have available to yourself specifically in your box. Just try to give you guys options. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Share the video with your friends if they have Omega Shenron and they want to go ahead and build teams. Check out the video about Gogeta, and hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys later on. Peace out.